one time I was so delusional and naive that I was, you know, seeing this guy who essentially had a girlfriend, but I didn't know he had a girlfriend.
Got it.
Until I did know. But then he kept telling me, you know, we're broken up. It's no big deal. He was living with the girl at the time. Like, and he drove me freaking insane. He would make dates up with me. He'd be like, yeah, meet me at this place at 9 p.m. And then he'd go home to his girlfriend, block my number so that every message I sent him afterwards would turn green. And little naive Jen was like, maybe he's going through a tunnel for like hours and hours and he just doesn't have service. Like,
he's going through a tunnel.
I was insane. And then my college roommates had to deal with this. Like, I would knock on the door and be like, oh my gosh, like he's not answering me. What do I do? Like, he's in a tunnel again.
The tunnel, aka he's like inside his girlfriend tonight, and he has to turn
the tunnel is his girlfriend.
Jenn,
it was crazy.
No, but it's so relatable. Like, I have an episode that is either coming out or will have come out that I'm talking about, like, when you are in the early stages of dating and you were insecure when you were younger, which I was, you can kind of find yourself almost not even like evaluating your boundaries. Like, you don't have boundaries. No. You're just so happy someone's giving you attention.
Yes.
And it's so intoxicating and it can be so like overwhelming that you don't have time, that now you look back and you're like, why didn't someone like literally like slap me across the head and be like, wake up, he's not in a tunnel, bitch, he has a girlfriend. But like,
they did. I had so many friends that did that.
It wouldn't even matter if they told you, right? Because you're like, no. It's like the tunnel.
You're like, no. He told me he loved me yesterday, so like it's fine.
God.
Like it's crazy the things that I delusionally believed in back at the time.
And I appreciate you, because obviously like my main demographic is women. I appreciate you saying like, I didn't like fully respect my body at the time. I think that's like sadly a very relatable thing because I think we still live in a man's world, and if you're like going for these relationships, you want men to like you and you want them to see you and you want to like, you want the attention and the validation, and you can't give it to yourself yet because like you being you so far, you've just gotten like no success, or you're like feeling bad about yourself. So when a guy starts to give you attention, you're like, me? Like me? And then if they start to act out, you're like, oh, that doesn't matter. Me?
Yes. And then you're like, what more can I do to like keep this attention going? And then you drive yourself insane. And
how long did that last? Tunnel boy? Can we call him Tunnel Boy?
Probably like 6 months. 6 months.
You say 4 years.
Jenn. No, God no, 6 months. But see, and then at the time, I like there was a turning point in that where when I realized, I was like, oh, he's like insane. Like he was actually like a sociopath and would like lie to me like crazy and like would never like own up to it. And then there was a turning point where I was like, okay, wait, now I'm going to play the game. Like, if he's going to lie to me and do all this, like, I'm going to do that. So then I started using him for, like, dinner and drinks and all this stuff. And then he'd be like, oh, can I come back to your apartment? Because I could never go to his, right? And I'd be like, sorry, like, I got class early in the morning. Like, I got to go, but thanks for dinner. Like, you know?
I'm obsessed that you just casually, like, because I could never go to his because he has a girlfriend.
Oh, my gosh. Like,
no, but you know what's crazy is, like, that seems to be the most beautiful turn of events when you are just like under someone's thumb and you're just getting played and played and played. And then I don't know what it is. The sun rises a little different that morning, or like your phone looks a little different. Everything looks a little different. And you're like, oh my
Wait
God,
a second.
motherfucker.
Wait a fucking second.
Like, it's over for you. Because it's like the repetitiveness of the cycle of them treating you like shit just one day. You're like, what if I just tilted it a little bit this way? And all of a sudden you're now like in a little bit more of a position of power.
Yes.
And then they really lose their shit because they're like,
they're like, wait a second. She knows what's going on.
She's
like
standing up for herself.
Wait a second.
She has self-respect.
Yeah, what is happening? That's not the girl that I wanted.
Okay, so you have like, you went through it in college.
Oh, for sure. I just had so many crazy relationships. And then even after college, I think I was still finding myself, or I was growing more confident into who I am, but not growing confident in like what I wanted in a relationship and knowing what I wanted in that.
Wait, what kind of guys were you going for in college? Did you have a type?
I mean, at the time, the guy that had a girlfriend was like somebody that I worked with in the restaurant, and he was like kind of my boss. So like I had like a boss thing. I have like a power complex. I don't know, like
a boss thing.
Yeah, like it was weird. But he wasn't that much older. Like he was like a year or two older.
Wait, so after he's like ignoring you in the tunnel, would
we go to work together the next day, and he'd act like everything was fine, and he's like, oh baby, I'm so sorry, like let me take you out tonight. Like I was batshit crazy. I was like, I believed him because we worked together. It was like, he cannot be this crazy to lie to me and then go to work with me.
Boss. We also, that like makes such a weird dynamic too, because you also have to like somewhat respect your boss. So naturally you're like, even if you wanted to be mad at him,
you can't.
You're taking orders from this man, which then becomes kind of hot again.
And that's the hot part of it.
And then the cycle repeats itself.
Yes. Now you're getting it.
You're like, you've never had sex with your boss? Yes. So I'm like, God, let me think back. Like, I was tempted. Yeah. Oh my God. Okay, Jen, this is like great information. We're loving this. We're loving this.
But that era is closed, right?
No, it's closed.
I had to learn a little bit and it was crazy, but
and I hope you know, I love these stories too, because I obviously know what we're about to watch on The Bachelorette. It's like, I'm hoping, I know you're not wearing a ring, but like, we're obviously hoping you're engaged, if that was what was meant to be. But I just was talking about a situation I had in college where I had this guy that just kept it moving, and like every day it was a different thing, and I was just trying to hold on for dear life.
Right.
And I'm married, and I talk about it though because when you look back at those things, you have such different perspective. And it almost is like you feel, somewhat bad for yourself, but not anymore once you've been that far away. You're like, whoa, it just makes you empathetic towards other women that get themselves in that position where you know how easy it can be to fall into that when you're not in a good place with yourself.
Exactly.
And that I think is like, there's no judgment. Like I'm sure there's so many girls listening right now that are at that place. Babes, we've been there too.
Been there.
We've been there in the trenches.
The only person that can pull yourself out of it is you. Yeah. And you just gotta like work through it and work through your insecurities and find your self-respect. And I mean, I had so many friends trying to pull me out of it and I just didn't listen.
True.
I just was like, well, what do you mean? Like, he likes me.
They're like, he has a girlfriend. You're like, yeah, but he's gonna.
But he likes me. No.
Hi, Daddy Gang. Thank you so much for watching this video. Keep in mind, that was just a little clip from the episode. If you want to watch the entire full video episode, it is linked below. It's the first thing in the description. Go watch it. It's a great episode. Love you all. I will see you next Wednesday.